Hello, Americans, and other friends and subscribers around the world. Back again, man. This morning, I'm going to do a little update. I think I'm going to do updates on the murders, up at U of I, the kids. There's been, man, so much. Man, I've read and watched so much stuff, and there's so much information out there that's, just people speculating and conspiracy stuff and just so much, and people freaking out about the police ain't letting stuff out, the case is going cold. The case ain't going cold, man. They haven't, when you have that much evidence and blood and all this things that none of us, have any clue that they have to go through and sift through and then not let information out and stuff. So, we're at 3 weeks, man. 3 weeks today, or actually a little over 3 weeks, man. 3 weeks this morning or last night. Just still, man, so I was going to do, there has not been any updates, two updates that I know of that are actually legitimate updates, which actually, there's really only one. Man, I got a few things written down, that's what I'm messing with. So I'm just going to go over actually, there's only one real update that has happened for sure. And that is that they have changed the timeline of when the kids got home. Really, that's about the only, no matter what all these channels and stations and everything are reporting as far as real stuff, that's the only update that they've done. Something I did see a couple of times, man. I've seen the pictures of the two kids that were in the basement that lived. They weren't, they were blocking all that, or them two out, for good reason. But I did finally see, pictures of those two earlier this week, and no names or nothing like that out. There is, dude, it's worldwide, man. So many, man, I've seen, people with British accents and all this. Everybody's following this, and trying to relate it, oh, this is like Bundy, Ted Bundy, and, the one killing that he did may have been, I wouldn't even say similar, man, he used an oak log. Dude, why try to connect the two, that's, Ted Bundy's dead. So, there's no connection to Ted Bundy in this, people, man, there's one kid on here that, on YouTube, man, I ain't gonna give out his name, and all that, whatever he wants to do, but man, he's putting out 6, 7, 10 videos a day. I think he's from back east, with a media hat and shirt on and all that, and, he's just capitalizing on it is what he's doing. It's terrible. That's all I got to say about that, but my little update, man, all I'm doing is giving, excuse me, I've had, a few people, thank me for, man, this is just the hillbillies, an Idaho hillbilly side of things, a parent of, U of I graduate, man, I'm just, just sad and disgusted, and man, we're all just, oh man, I hope and pray something comes of it. I'll tell you about this one thing that I did hear. You know, and they're saying it's not a serial murder or, you know, stuff like that, that they're putting out, you know, they believe that they were targeted and all that stuff. You know, the police, I think that they got a lot more information than you or I will ever know. I mean, that's what I'm hoping and praying. I know that I seen an interview, man, it was heartbreaking, with one of the dads, and even he said in the interview that he talked to the police investigators. He talked to them before he did the news interview, and had a couple of things that he knew that he asked, you know, if it was all right that he, you know, says or talks about, and they asked him not to. So there are things going on behind the scenes, and I hope and pray that they have so much more than, you know, any of us ever know, and they, you know, catch this mother. Excuse me, something that I did, you know, man, I've had to back off because, man, I think about these kids off and on all day, every day, you know, when I'm doing my thing around the creek bottom or in here, the trading post or whatever, man, it's, you know, working away, and, man, it just tears me up. But something I'd read that I found interesting, and, you know, and I can't say there ain't a connection, but not for sure there's a connection or whatever. But on June 14th, I got this, I wrote it down just so I had all the dates and everything. On June 14th, and that is in 2020, June 14th, 2020, a 71-year-old woman was murdered, and they believe on the 13th of the month, you know, and they found her on the 14th in Washington within a 5-hour drive. And that is unsolved. You know, they've never found anybody or anything in that. And then on August 13th, 2021, so 2020, 2021, on the 13th, that's 2 on the 13th, a young married couple was attacked in bed, I believe. Multiple stab wounds. The wife survived 19 stab wounds, and the husband was succumbed to his injuries of multiple stab wounds. Again, within a 5-hour drive. You know, the kids, which actually, I guess it was a Sunday night, Sunday the 13th, Sunday night, which would actually put them into the 14th, which it just kind of dawned on me. The 13th thing was really, you know, you're like, wow, man, that you know, gal was killed on the 13th, and then the husband and wife were attacked on the 13th, and then I was thinking the kids on the 13th, you know, on 13, you know, lucky 13, man, or, you know, there's a lot of, you can read, man, you can go down that rabbit hole if you want, but I just found that, you know, all a year apart, all within 500 miles. Is there a connection to that? You know, you can't say yay and you can't say nay. As far as the officers and the investigators and stuff like that, you know, they keep putting out that it's, you know, targeted, isolate, you know, it's just this, but these are just things that, you know, you see and read and hear, and, you know, of course you speculate. I mean, I'm not going to sit on here and tell you what, you know, I'm not going to tell you my rabbit hole or what you know, because of course when you're, man, watching and listening to all this, you're going to come up with things, you know. The only thing that I'll say that I'm pretty dang sure, and I've heard other people say it too, is I'm pretty sure he came in that slider door. You know, was he staking them out? Man, who knows? I'm just like you. I am waiting for solid information, you know, believable information, man. Do not believe all that. which, I mean, is totally understandable, but it is insane how many states, countries, all around the world, everybody's getting into this and speculating and conspiracy theories and, man, bickering. And I've had people tell me, because I pronounced, what was it yesterday? I mean, there's some people on here that are just on here to rip things apart and, into their own thing. But somebody told me, you ain't from Idaho because you said Moscow or Moscow, and it's pronounced Moscow. Well, let me tell you something, man. Kitty's grandma, when she was a kid, she said how'd she do? She said Moscow. And her grandma that passed away last year is in her 90s. And she said, honey, Moscow is not Moscow is not pronounced Moscow. It is pronounced Moscow. We ain't in Russia. So, man, that's just a touch on just people, man. There's a lot of people out there just looking, on these things, looking for a fight, saying horrible things. I ain't talking about that, like the Moscow or the pronouncing. I'm talking about the horrible things they're saying about the families and the kids and, stuff going on with one of the kids' moms. And, man, I ain't going there. All I'm going to do is I'm going to try every Monday. Hopefully it ain't too many Mondays. Hopefully they solve this thing by next Monday. But on Mondays, I'll give you an update of the solid, real things that I have heard that, have came from the authorities and, people that really matter in this investigation, man. All I hope and pray, man, my thoughts and prayers out to the families all the time, every day. I can't even imagine like I said, man, that if you get a chance to watch the, can't remember whose father he was, but there was a father or a dad did an interview with a reporter. I think it was yesterday, man. And that's a tough deal, man. Good Lord willing, them creeks don't rise. We'll be back again tomorrow. See ya.